Hi, I'm Pastor Tay, and today I want to talk to you about lust. I know, just saying the word sounds bad. It's known to be provocative and evil, right? But in most cases in the Bible, the word lust connotes something really bad. But in rare cases, the word actually means something really good. And that's what today's cup of Java is all about. Yes, there is a good kind of lust. In 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, for example, it says, if anyone sets his heart on being an overseer, he desires a noble task. That word desires in the original Greek is lust. So here's a word that is mostly used to describe those dark, impassioned desires that fuel the sinful nature and war against God's holy standard. But here, in 1 Timothy chapter 3:1, the meaning is definitely not that. How provocative to describe a good desire as lust. Well, that's how intensely good and noble it is to serve the Lord. So intense that you should actually lust after such opportunities. Now, this might be a new concept because many think of serving God as something passive. In other words, it's something that you are invited to do. Many think it's actually more proper to just wait until you're asked to do something. Many think that if you assert yourself, that it automatically comes from selfish ambitions. In fact, many insist that it is God who calls you to serve. And by the way, He does. But still, many people will choose to wait for, some kind of heavenly sign or some divine orchestration of circumstances so that they can say that it was God's doing all along. Most churches have selection committees, nominating committees that sift through names and discuss who might be fit to serve. And so they make phone calls and encourage people to serve. And the church members then, being aware of this process, they'll sort of go along, role play, and just wait to be asked. It's like sitting in a waiting room, waiting and waiting, kind of like the doctor's office, waiting and just sitting there. Now, there is a proper place to be waiting, to be asked, to be sure. And there is certainly the important theology of God leading us and working out all the circumstances for His greater purposes in our lives. But that's another cup of Java. This devotional drink is not about being passive at all. It's quite the opposite, about being active, proactive, and passionate. In fact, it's about having a desire so strong that it borders on some kind of lust. And if you're meeting in a group right now, you can pause to share your experiences of waiting to be asked, and then share your experiences of being proactive in serving. What ways of serving excite you? Pause now. And so the application of this biblical principle is to go out and make the call. Send the email. Go ahead and text the leaders. Create a meeting. Contact your pastor and leader. And with each situation, you are actually creating the situation where you might be granted an opportunity to serve. And if you do, it would be considered noble, as it says in 1 Timothy 3. So consider today, not waiting, but initiating. Hey, that's a phrase. Don't wait, but initiate. And if you do, you will begin to discover more fully the greater purposes that God has for your life.